You are good to go, Karen.
Hi, Gail.
Hi.
Call order this meeting session of Douglas CSD for March 19th, 2026. And as normal, we begin with the Pledge of Allegiance, and we were going to get and go out to.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States. One nation under God.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, Annalisa will be showing up a little bit.
Almost there to ship online.
She's online for my butt. I don't know. Do we have any adjustments to the agenda?
Lady is in that.
There are none tonight.
Not tonight, okay. Do we have any awards, recognitions, and correspondence this evening? None.
None tonight, sir.
Presentations to the board. Wendy Digby is Angela. Do you need a promo? Do you need us to lead in for you, or do you?
I think you know Wendy Digby. I'm Wendy.
I'm Wendy.
You know me. So I'm the new director for special education. My city.
Can you use your playground voice?
I will try.
Okay, yeah, thanks. Helps a lot.
And so, Veronica, do you have our slides ready to go?
Is there any sound?
No. We kept it simple.
So tonight we're going to talk about Medicaid and how we're able to access those services to support our programs.
It's thinking. There we go.
So I'm going to start first. I work, as I said, with the Early Intervention, Early Childhood Special Education Program, and we have been using Medicaid services and funds for many years. This year, we were able to start back up into billing for evaluation. So any child that comes into our program for a special education evaluation, we're able to assess reimbursement if the parent gives consent, and that's for children that qualify or do not qualify. There's a variety of people in our program that can bill. That includes speech and language pathologists, physical therapists, occupational therapists at this time for evaluation purposes.
So for the evaluations, do you need some type of order to get through the evaluation?
No, so we just get a referral. Anybody can make a referral. It can be a parent, it can be a medical provider, it can be a community preschool, it can be a teacher, an aunt. Anybody can make a referral.
Oh, I went ahead already. Are we done with this one?
Yes.
So what we're adding new is being able to bill for our K-12 programs, our K-12 providers. Phase one, we're in it right now. We've been working on this for over a year at this point. It's been a heavy lift. But right now we have a select group of speech language pathologists that are piloting this with us. We selected 4 of the most veteran SLPs to pilot it, and then all of our school nurses are working on it for piloting the program. Phase 2 in the fall, we're working on the expansion to get all of the SLPs ready to go, to get going, and the nurses are going to expand to include more kids and to include our complex needs classroom. And then phase 3, next year, January 2027, we want a full implementation of all the speech language pathologists, and adding in our school psychologists, OTs.
And in order to be on Medicaid, you have to be licensed provider, right?
Yeah, there's very specific licensures that don't count.
So what we use are those Medicaid reimbursement funds for is a variety of things. We use it to do some professional development for our staff. That training supports, will support the students receiving those specialized services within our program. We also can support some licensure fees. Some of our therapists have to have multiple licenses, and so this is one of those things we can offset a little bit of that out-of-pocket cost for them. We use it to pay for a portion of our support staff, who is our administrative specialist that does a lot of support for us on the back end of processing the Medicaid. And then we use it for recruitment for licensed staff. So we're always looking for new recruitment, so that could be maybe a little bonus or to be able to be competitive.
You added any staff members for certain conditions like SMA?
We have this year, we've added speech and language pathologists, occupational. So that's kind of where that staff is. And they support our kids in our birth history program, and then a speech therapist that supports our kiddos in our everyday life.
So does the software re-enter the data in order to be paid? Is it in the system?
It
So
is.
kind of
It is.
guide you through, because there's a lot of little nuances in that
Absolutely.
that you get paid for.
Yeah, so in Oregon, we across the state of Oregon, we use a database called VC Web. Within that, it's created by the University of Oregon, and their tech department supports it. Within that, they have a Medicaid billing component into it. So it's already in the system linked to the state Medicaid services. What our therapists have to do to check and see if the child is eligible for the reimbursement, put in an ICD-9 code specific to the disability, and then put in their chart notes and bill.
And the each one of the children already have to be on Medicaid in order to be
Yes.
on the bill.
Yes. And their husband checks
Gail
that.
has a question.
Yes, Gail.
Can you bill for services provided by occupational therapy assistants licensed and other assistants, PT and speech and language assistants?
Yeah. So currently we do not have any physical therapist assistants or occupational therapist assistants, but we do have speech and language assistants, and yes, they can access and get that reimbursement for our services. The lead SLP that works over the speech therapist has to sign off on it, and they can't bill on the same week. So that's what they are, same day. So you can't double bill that day.
But how do you get a child on Medicaid?
So our system has it embedded, our database has it embedded in it. We have to get a consent signed by the parent allowing us to look and access it. Then we submit a form, and it's all in the behind the scenes work. So whatever they do in the back end of the system, of VC Web, it links right into Medicaid, and they say yes, they're available.
State or federal?
It's state.
Medicaid is technical both, because part of it is federal, part of it is the state. So state is the one who monitors it and regulates it, but funding goes into federal, and it goes by how many children are on and what your population is. All that. That's why the more citizens you have in your state, the more entitled you are to federal funding. So federal funding is associated with the population of the state.
That's why East Coast gets so much more
That's
money.
why, for example, California gets so much more, because they've got a bigger population.
Question?
At some point, we heard as a board about an effort to get support from, one of the other ESDs that's taking a leadership role in this.
Yes.
Have you moved away from that? Is it just the ESD doing that now? Doing the billing part and all that stuff?
So we contract out because the billing piece, the piece that we need to do to access that reimbursement is very, very complicated. And so right now we contract out to Multnomah ESD and Platinum ESD, and they do all of the paperwork pieces, all the cumbersome, putting in the codes for each child, each session, those kinds of things. So, and then once we complete that piece, Then they submit the paperwork to Medicaid and then we get the reimbursement.
Oh, okay, great. You said there was ESD staff, support staff. Is
Yes.
what.
Yes,
And
yeah,
what's the person do?
yeah, so she keeps, she goes to all the Medicaid meetings, so if our therapist can't attend, she attends in their place and she gathers all the information and then she shares it with them. She also is the one that when we get new therapists, she puts in their licensure codes and gives them a Medicaid code, so they can bill. She is the one that sends all the information that we need to our contracting programs, the other ESDs across the state that help do that back piece. And then she turns in the reimbursement paperwork to get the funding. So we have to pay a piece out to get the funding, but it's well worth it.
Is there any paper involved or is it all electronic?
It's electronic.
Okay.
Thursday, I thought it was electronic.
Yeah. Everything we do is electronic.
Yeah. Is there a I'm sorry, tell that comment just tickled me. Do you know how, is there an estimate of how much revenue the Medicaid funding is pulling in?
So we bill quarterly. I'm looking at you. I want to say our last was it like close to 90?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 90,000 for our quarter. And that was from September through, I want to say December. Yeah. So we'll be billing for the next quarter soon.
You figure that's just two entities, nursing and speech. That isn't, that you're just billing right now.
So it's
Yeah,
probably,
that's just our OTs, our XL, our physical therapists, and our speech and language necessary. In the future, our school psychologists will be able to.
Now, I had a question. What was last year compared to this year in terms of the revenue?
I want to say it was around 50. I want to say it was much less because we couldn't bill for evaluations. So that is
Okay.
new this school year.
And we could do that this year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I don't also, usually Medicaid is driven by the income of the family, but I don't think that is all the cases. I think in autism, once you're diagnosed with autism, you're actually automatically put on Medicaid and you don't do any financial driven. So the family does.
Yeah. So what happens is that we get the information from this, it used to be CCLM, Community Case Living Management, who sets up and gets that eligibility, that medical eligibility for Medicaid. So we coordinate with them. There's other reasons why a child might coordinate or qualify. They might be wards of the state, they automatically qualify. So there's various reasons, and it's a really interesting system. A child might be eligible 1 month and they're not the next. They kind of go off of it. And it's all kind of in behind the scenes that we just put the information in the system, said yes, they're eligible or not. So it's fun.
Yeah, I was just surprised. I know a family that the child was diagnosed with autism and the whole family was placed on Medicaid and they didn't have to do a financial thing at all. So it didn't matter how much money the household made.
Yeah, that is
The
very
whole
true.
household.
Yeah.
Aren't there fees associated? So like we get some revenue, we have to send some like
We do.
revenue.
We do.
But
It's a 60-40 split right now. We get 60, we get 60 reimbursed a year.
You paid who 40%?
Medicaid keeps 40 and then we get the 60.
Okay, I didn't quite understand.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird system.
Okay, I'm gonna jump in. So for our K-12, we haven't started billing yet, but our anticipated use of funds for our goals. We want to increase the capacity of our school nurses by getting additional RN to help out the caseloads around the county. And then we also want to keep the costs down for districts. So some of our districts pay for a contract to get extra school nurse funds dedicated for them. So we want to use this funds to help kind of offset that, a bit more affordable for districts. And then also looking at our speech language program, our speech language pathologist, it's gotten much more expensive. We have virtuals that need an additional person on the ground, on site to help get them connected. So we're hoping to use funds to help offset some of the additional costs that have been getting incurred from that. And offer hiring bonuses to get those in-person people that we prefer to have. And then, also to decrease caseload sizes by having a more robust workforce.
So how long do you think it'll be before you can go K-12?
We're really close to getting started. I've been told by other entities that it takes about 2 years to really start seeing the money. so about 2 years before we offset all the initial costs and stuff. So.
So we do a coordination with school districts. The school districts have to, we created a memorandum of asking the school districts to limit the bill for these students. So ultimately, the 3 to 5 or birth to 5 students are the responsibility of the school district. They could technically bill for these services, but they are willing to let us. So we created this memorandum, and it's good for all until they say no. So thank you. Right now, we have 12 of the 13 school districts in our county that have signed it this year. We're going to go and re-approach that other school district next year. They want to kind of get the ground rolling, see how the impact, those kinds of things. So we will.
What school is that?
That's Elton School District. Yeah, we don't have a lot of kids up there, so they don't see as much of the impact. And it rolls from year to year. Like last year, we had seen a lot more kids this year. Yeah. So, so I will reapproach them next year.
And then for K-12, something similar, we did MOUs with all of our districts. What makes it different is the students are in those district schools. And so we had to clearly delineate who's being billed for, who's doing the billing in the schools. So it clearly says on the MOUs that it's Douglas ESD employees, staff that are doing services. So for example, Roseburg has their own school sites. So our school sites, it's a clear line between what we're billing in Roseburg for that and what they're able to do on their own stuff. So also part of the MOU is data sharing between the schools and us and the Medicaid billing platform. EIECSE has that wonderful program that he was talking about, EasyWeb. We do not have a component, something similar. Every district has their very own system. And so we set up data sharing agreements to get the information we need to be able to build at all the district systems. And we have all 13 districts signed on with that. Actually pretty quickly, we did a lot of front loading about what's happening, what we need, and talking with them ahead of time. So by the time the MOU went out, we came right back signed.
So on the sharing, that doesn't cause privacy issues at all then? Or explain that to me, the privacy part of it.
Yeah, it's in their districts, their student information system software, and it comes to ours straight through the software program, through our Zengen program. And it's specifically just pulling the kids we're billing on. Most of the information these our staff already need. So like our school sites already need access to these programs anyway. Our nurses already need access to the student information system. So it's things that we're already accessing. So it just be a little bit more formalized.
And there's
Okay.
sharing agreements.
Okay, good.
That interrupt?
Okay, so I've already kind of talked about this. Our administrative specialist does do all the enrollment, attends state education Medicaid meetings, updates licensed staff, coordinates billing and reimbursement, and facilitates opportunities for the staff question and answers. And this support that our administrative assistant on the EI level provides that same level of support for Jackson, their learning intervention program down there. That was it.
Thank you. So you guys are
Yeah, that was good.
important work on it. We've been trying to get going for a while.
Tom, we didn't see you when we first started. It's good to see you made it.
Yeah, glad to be here. I just want to say I I would be there, but I can't walk on either foot. I can't put weight bearing on either foot, so I'm restricted to where I can go. So
What happened?
I stepped on a dog toy, and so I broke my foot, and then I fell off the knee scooter that I was riding on and broke my. I fractured my bone and broke it, and it pulverized it. So I broke both legs. Yeah.
Normally we save that kind of stuff for the good of the order at the end of the meeting, but thanks.
Sorry. Well, I was
Well, we're
asked, so
thinking good thoughts for you, buddy.
thank you.
Any further questions? Hearing
Yeah,
none,
Tom,
we'll go to- Oh, go ahead. Good go.
Tom,
Nothing?
I don't think we can hear you, Gail.
Tom, are you in the hospital?
No, I'm in a residential, what do you call them? A rehab center. Rehab center.
Oh,
I'll be here for another week and a half. Yeah.
okay.
Moving on to the consent agenda, do I hear a motion?
Thank you.
I'll move, we accept the consent agenda as written.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy.
Thank you.
Any questions about the consent agenda? Hearing none, I'll call for it. Favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Superintendent's report. Or better late than never, superintendent, yes. Scroll down. Ready to go. She's ready to take over.
Okay, with the chair, we had a recital tonight, and as Mike can attest to, they start late and late, so, appreciate your forgiveness. I'm glad to be here with you tonight.
We had a mom, so.
Yeah.
Maybe you hear.
So just a few things to add on to my report. The legislative session closed at the beginning of the month. Happy to share that although we have a lot of worry heading into the session, there were no changes made to our funding. So, and the forecast, as I shared with you in the briefing, is like the last few days, clearing and getting warmer. And as long as that continues, we hope. Basically, right now, we're working really hard to offset to get more revenue to offset the lack of revenue coming from the federal government through Medicaid and other programs due to reduce funding in HR one. So, I do anticipate next biennium, so the long session starts a year from now, and we will be in it a year from now to be a tough session. Unless we see some significant revenue increases there. So the good news is that as we just had a Medicaid conversation, K-12 Medicaid did not have any impact to it. And also our food programs are ran through SNAP. All the kids who were eligible on December 31st are still eligible today. So it's the community, and we know when things change in the community, we get impacts on the school. And so that's what we're kind of preparing for. I'm gonna hop down to attendance. So this was a focus of the superintendents this year. And it's also a focus of the community. So our coordinated care organization, which is the insurance payer for Medicaid in this community. Attendance is all over their plan. Our community is super invested in not like what they can do to schools and say, hey, do this, but how can they come alongside schools and support? And so they're really looking at a campaign at critical points in the time of the year. At the beginning, to say, hey, 12,860 kids are heading back to school. And how do we support those families? How do we be good neighbors and wave the kids off to school and help those moms and dads who've got to get to work, all of those sorts of things. And really thinking about a multi-generational approach to helping kids get to school, stay in school and feel like they belong. So our rates are going up without this support, and so I'm really hopeful that, well, probably 18 months from now, I'm sharing that they're going up because of this support. in addition. We know it's really important that kids are in school. There's some interesting things happening around time. I think I've shared with you, Oregon has one of the shortest school years in the nation. Average is like 177 and we're like 160, 163. So our students are in school 9% less. So now start making sense of the headlines you're seeing about Oregon student data and where we are in the nation. That's 1 month for nearly a month, a year. Times that by 10 years, that's a year of learning loss. And we take the same assessment as, specifically the state, the north and the south of us and a few other states. And we're doing it on 9% less learning time. So these are things that we have to start talking about in our system. How we get more time in school. And there's some folks who I've maybe been enough of a thorn that if I have some friends who are going to join me in this quest. Because the other thing it does is it shortens the summer, which means you have less learning loss, which means you get grade level curriculum faster in the fall. So there's just a lot of things that time affords you. It's kind of a compound effect. So, so I'll keep you posted. I'll keep being a thorn and raising that issue in the state. It's a money issue, but you know, Oregon's creative. The other thing is I had a meeting with our community coordinated care organization yesterday. We've been talking to them for several months about behavioral health in our schools and what funding is available through community Medicaid, because it is truly the community. It's a community Medicaid responsibility to be supporting our kids where they're at. And so I feel like we made a lot of headway yesterday. We meet with Angela and our regional director tomorrow, and hopefully you can put together another RFI and get our local providers in and providing a role that is sort of like, it's not like an SLPA, because that would be a better way to explain it. So they're not the licensed person who can direct the treatment, but they're the people who are there every day helping kids. So we feel like we've got a more, we feel like it's the right role, and we just got to get our partners in the community on board to help us. So that's what I've been up to, is working hard to get behavior supported in our schools, and working with the community to focus on attendance, and then being a thorn about time in our schools. Belfast.
They approach the subject in Oregon about having school all year long, having same time off, but it's not from summer off. It's like that whole first month is relearning what.
Well, it's a system based on an agricultural law. This is a mistake underneath.
Right.
So you had the conversation. I've been a thorn myself over the years, and it always comes down to collective bargaining and all these other issues that people are concerned about. And it's like, yeah, we can't focus on that. We focus on this. We don't have enough instructional time. I think 70% of the rural schools in the state are on a 4-day week. I mean, it's a crazy.
Yeah.
I think maybe it's not that high, but
And it opens on a 4-day week.
well,
The majority of ours are.
in the county. And it, you know, you can say, well, we have longer days, but it's like, there are great models for year-round school, but I don't think it's ever been taken. I've never seen an actual attempt at it in the state.
So there's some states who are very near to us, who we share borders with, who are shrinking the summer loss by starting earlier, and then they take a week precedence. So they're already off that Monday, so they take the other 4 days. So they start a little earlier than us. They end maybe the same time, maybe a week later, and they take. So they just found ways to add in, not like a year-round school, but an extra week. And so it's something that we've been talking about, not ESD, because we serve the calendar that exists. But it's something that I think people are peeking over the fence and saying, we'll see what the impact is. It's pretty new. It's at least within the last 5 years. Yeah. I'll keep you posted.
I personally think it would be beneficial. That is
Yeah,
my personal
absolutely. California had some good models 20 years.
Yeah.
But
Still meeting.
yeah, if you talk to the kids, they're
But
fine.
see, I didn't know it was built on agriculture, but that's logical.
Yeah, right, it's, you know, they're gonna have the kids out in spring so they can do the planning, and we gotta have them out in summer planning.
For harvesting.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Hunting season takes a while.
Oh, it's pretty official in Douglas County.
that's always been something that's been discussed for you. Could you take a week in October? It always feels very unsafe to me, but, everyone's out.
If you look at your attendance data.
Yeah, no, yeah. But yeah, so I think there's some interesting things. I think the fact that people are talking about it means that we'll have some better discussions about what we can do, either within the funding that we already have, around some of those things that we know we need to address. And then also saying to the legislature, what else can we figure out?
Little known fact, we are last in the nation in
I know.
number of minutes,
We're not last.
classroom time.
Hawaii's last.
Huh?
Hawaii's last.
Why is that? Because,
Hawaii.
Hawaii fell behind.
Yeah.
Oh,
5P 228 goes through, won't have to worry about that anymore, so. Keep kids in school then.
Yeah, they actually, there was a study done, I think a group out of Portland that, I forget how much more days if we added, Oregon would move up to 6 in the nation in our schools. The time is a really big thing. So it means our kids are doing really well with the time they have.
Yeah, I'd like to see them move up in the nation on their actual education, where they're at.
But it's a time issue. I mean, so when kids in Washington are taking the same test as Oregon students are taking it with this, how do I explain this? Kids in Washington take that test in May. Oregon kids take it in May with in April. They've only learned up until April.
Yeah.
So the time really matters.
Yeah, because they start later.
Yeah, they need more time.
Yes.
any other questions for Emily?
I'll wrap myself up.
Hearing none, we'll jump to, back to Angela to tell us about SPED.
Yeah, our special education report. I wanted to add a little bit about our AT Ties conference that's coming up, and I have a little paragraph in here, but it's taking a lot of my attention right now, so it is. In the past, last year, I looked at the attendance numbers, it was about 120 people attended last year. And looking around at conferences around the state, their attendance has been really down because of funding and stuff. And so we were looking at conservatively about 100 attendees, maybe around that. I checked this morning and we have 170 people registered. So it's asking for offering something that they want.
Yeah.
Because everywhere else, attendance at conferences has been down, and everybody's been talking about how low attendance it has been and stuff, but we blew our old record.
Also, do the work.
It's not even. No, yeah, and it's still open for some fun.
Great.
That's all I had to add. I don't know if you have any other questions about anything.
Oh, that's all right.
Any other questions for Angela? Hearing none, we'll go to Holly Sproxy.
That'll be out to my best Holly. So you can see that she reported on HR leave processing, so, paid family leave, is it 3 years old? I think we're in our second year.
Yes.
And we sort of anticipated that there would likely be more leave in the first 3 years. If you think about people haven't been able to afford to take off work to get needs and those things taken care of. And so some of this data is quite startling, but hopefully we will begin to see some difference, plateau, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And then Holly and her team are doing lots of negotiations, including our own.
And this is one of the shorter lists of current openings in the last few years. Any other questions? Okay. Yeah, we're gonna be seeing Holly a lot. Negotiations. Superintendent evaluation. We figure. Let's do it. Pistol. I saw. He was sleeping there.
All of my physical hurts. Good evening. I do want to, last month I did have to scoot over early and I had been ill and I felt a coughing episode. And so I did, and so thank you, Van Lucia, for, picking that up for me. And not a lot of changes to report. We are pretty much, at kind of the same level for property taxes. This time of year. You know, it fluctuates on any given month and we still have, so we just got a little payment last week. We'll get, it's like the 15th of the month. We still have April, May and June. So actually anticipating, at or slightly above where we are with what we budgeted for taxes. As you can see, prior year taxes were actually a lot more has come in, so people are paying their prior taxes that are due. The revenue for the indirect charges, even though we're well on our kind of at the tail end of the year, we bill our grants quarterly. However, we're still waiting for quite a few grants, several grants to come in. And so there have been some grants that we have not yet been able to bill. And then for grant purposes, June, we have a whole bunch of payroll. So it's really, a lot of that doesn't get until the last quarter. So I just wanted to mention, it doesn't, even though we're down and low on what we received or what we've posted there, that does not mean we're not going to get that. State school fund is we're right at I did get just a new estimate the other day. We budgeted 2.7. The last episode came in at like just over 2.6 million. So that actually, even though it's slightly less than what we budgeted, the last couple of years it's like dropped consistently. So they are working, got notification, they are working on the May adjustment. And so there's always that piece, but I worked really hard to try to level that out so we're not getting hit quite as hard there. So, so revenue, general fund revenue is coming in well.
Dennis, you might share that our ADMW dropped significantly. No.
Yeah, so, oh, there's no pages on there, that's fine. Sorry about that. Yes, our ADMW has dropped like 400 for the county, like 400 students. So we are really starting to feel that, and we have received the first estimate for 26-27, and that's based on so in December, all of the school districts send in what they anticipate their enrollment to be next school year. And so based upon what the numbers that I'm seeing, what they're estimating for 26-27, they're estimating some either some high classes going out and some low numbers coming in, or something along that sort, because 400 students we've seen drop just for 25-26. We're seeing another drop of what they're estimating for 26-27.
Is it because they're doing alternative education?
If you're kids all count, look at the kindergarten data, look, it's coming up. It's just less.
Birth rates
Less.
Birth rates.
way down.
Birth rates dropped a lot.
And some, a few.
Yeah, you can always take a look at that kindergarten number for the county. So
But it'll be way too much for young people. No.
The birth rate in the county down about 5% over the last years. Yes, it's have gone, elsewhere. We haven't quite gotten we're pretty close to getting like the kids, pre-pandemic levels back. I think we're also seeing, some harder economic times because the people are having, they can't be in their own home, so they might be leaving our region and going to another region and living in someone else's home. So there's multiple variables that are contributing.
The secondary level, though, kids will go to work center and they'll leave school, that's just not how it goes.
Yeah, and I attended a federal conference a couple of years ago. Tish and I did when we received the bid as the nation. And it was interesting that they talked about how enrollment was decreasing, and that was the main reason was birth rates. And I hadn't really, thought about it, and then it really, it made sense. So, we don't see the families of 5 and 6 kids,
Feel like you want to have kids at all.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
How's the state doing with reimbursements so far? Have they improved in reimbursing us?
Yes. And that's, and even though that reflects, the AEM reflects a little bit with the ESD state school funding, but the really big and tough piece is this was really hitting our school districts hard. They are really feeling a pain. And so when you have a school district that is dropping 200 and 300 kids, over the course of the last, that's hitting hard for them. And even for the smaller school districts, losing 30 kids, that doesn't seem like a lot, but for a small school district, that is huge. And so we're really starting to see it then. And that's where they're having to cut positions and so, and potentially, reaching out to Alicia to say, we need help. So, I feel when I look at these numbers, I feel really bad, knowing we're going into budget season for our school districts in Douglas County, but statewide as well, not just this is statewide. Beyond that, everything I did, last month I had included, a new page, which is an appropriations page for all funds. I added this because our budget that you guys approved in June, that you adopt every year, is based on, that resolution is based on appropriations by fund. So fund 100, 200, 300, 400, and 600. And so, I wanted to add a page, not only to share with you, but it also helps me to keep track and make sure we're staying within our appropriations. So this is a new page. I probably will only include this quarterly. It doesn't change or fluctuate a lot, but I just wanted to share with you, just so you can kind of see for the entire budget, how things are looking. And some of the, like the 300 funds, for example, we haven't made our huge payment. We don't have, that payment comes out in June. So, those kind of things, but it doesn't mean we've got this huge balance.
Yeah, this is really great. A lot of information to consolidate.
And then the percent just gives you an idea of how the money's, being spent and so again, this matches the resolution that you guys approved, adopt the budget in June of each year. Any questions?
Hearing no questions, I'll go ahead and move on to the next session. Okay. Superintendent evaluation, information item. Do we have a presentation group here? Like, Gail? No.
When you want,
How's it going?
going good. We got it all completed,
Oh, good.
all put together.
There you go.
Did you read a copy of it? Did they get a copy of it?
No, he'll present it in an executive session.
Okay.
So this agenda item there's.
Was that it?
Yeah, we'll go. If you look at executive session down
All
there,
right.
that's when it comes up. Okay.
So the work is finished on that.
That's great news. Thank you for your work.
Yeah. And that's high praise indeed from someone who did the evaluation. So
I know he did.
More evaluations than you can
It's
imagine.
your before last. Got it.
Was it helpful?
Yes, it was. It was. It was a nice guy.
Veronica, are you ready?
Yep, so, the spring conference is still, the agenda is still not complete. I do have everybody's rooms reserved. I think I have till, almost the end of April to cancel if it's like they don't want to go. And if we, as soon as the agenda comes live, I'll just reach out to you one-on-one to confirm if you want to the agenda. You can review the, breakout sessions, who's presenting, who's doing what, let me know which ones you'd like to do. And then of course, you have your normal menu choices that you'll have to, let me know, so I can be ready for. So for right now, we're just still on hold with that. It'll be on the agenda again, unless I reach out to you prior.
Okay. Any questions? Hearing none. CFO contract.
Yeah, so, right now, little history. For most of ESP's existence, we've had what we call a business manager. And then I would say 10, 12 years ago, for different superintendent era, we transitioned to a chief financial officer. And it's pretty standard practice that your chief financial officer has their own employment contract. So right now, they contract this employee is a part, or this role is a part of our administrative agreement. So with the other 23 administrators, but it's pretty standard across the state for an organization our size for them to have their own individual contract. They have a different role in the agency of being the keeper of the funds and those sorts of things. And so what I'd like to this is just an informational item just to get the mood of the board. If you'd like to move forward with that, you don't have to approve anything. What would happen if you do say, yeah, that sounds like a great idea, is in May or June, when I come back with all the other contracts, CBA, the superintendent, and then the CFO contract, and at that point, you would approve. You would still be the approver of the details of that. Pay, insurance, all those sorts of things. So it's, you approve the contract, I still need this person. So I'm your only employee still, but you get a contract if you guys would. So, yeah.
I was just gonna say, it's a way a lot of districts, especially larger districts, have gone to the CSDs to attract and keep the employees. So it's my take.
Income, what kind of salary difference, benefits different, retirement's different, getting a CFO to contract.
So it would, we currently have a CFO, so it would just be pulling that individual out of the agreement. I don't imagine like a significant increase in, those sorts of things. But we have a schedule for our administrative team of roles and where they land on the schedule, and all of that would stay in place. Just to pulling this role out of the admin agreement. So we have an administrator agreement for all of our administrators. It's not a contract, it's an agreement. We have CBA for our classic, collective bargaining agreement for our classified and licensed staff. We have a confidential agreement for our confidential staff, and then we have an admin agreement, then we have my contract, and this would just be added.
What's the negative versus positive, benefit that we would be getting by making this change though?
It's neutral to you all, to the board.
It creates some flexibility.
Yeah, creates flexibility, and
So it's a positive.
I believe so. But that's something that you all feel comfortable with, I will move forward with, taking that step.
Any objections? None heard.
I don't have
That's
any
all.
objections. I don't have any objections to moving forward, but I would, at some point in this process, like to see an example of what such a contract might look like, not even necessarily with numbers, but having a little trouble understanding the difference between the administrative group's contract and this one.
Sure, yeah, I can get that to you and send it out in breaking next month. Yep, great, thank you, Gail.
I'd like to see it too, yeah.
Actually, that might be a good idea.
Yeah, I'll send it out to all of you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, now we're ready for the fun part. This is executive session time. I want to remind everybody that executive session has got a single subject to deal with. And while it's nice to speculate and talk about some other things occasionally, this isn't the time. We have to stick to the subject. I'm one of the worst about getting off subject. But I've been referenced. So this executive session is held in accordance with ORS 192.6602D. And we're going to turn it over to Annalise.
Not me,
Session,
Can I,
we are now in regular session.
we're now in executive session, right?
Regular.
Session. Okay, so we're about to move to executive session. In accordance with ORS 192.002I. Performance of the chief executive officer.
So this is,
Should say officer.
And that's the office would be for negotiation.
this is for labor negotiation.
Labor.
Yeah. To conduct deliberation of the person designated to carry out labor.
We did our executive session first.
Yeah.
So I'm lost. What are we doing now?
So we have an executive session B to conduct deliberations with person designated to carry on labor negotiations.
So that's me.
So let me put a,
She's got a good play.
okay, good.
So we're out of special session here, executive session. We're up to action items.
Correct. Yes.
Action item A says board action on superintendent's evaluation. Do I hear any kind of motion on that?
I motion that we approve the evaluation.
I'll second it.
And
Did
it's
we
the
just say a motion?
And this is for the contract, right?
yeah, this is where we need the board to motion to renew superintendent. Superintendent contract for additional care.
Yeah, I should probably say that.
Any more questions about that? Hearing none, I'll call for a voice vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We've got 3 ayes. Anybody out in the hinterlands? Up 4? Okay. We have a majority.
My mic is off.
Motion passes.
Sounds good.
Motion passes unanimous.
Register me as an I as well. My mic was off.
Thank you, Tom.
Okay, we're moving on to action item B. If you look at the very last page, we have appointed members to the budget committee.
And just for public record, we did reach out. Zone 2 is a Rosebud school board member. We did reach out to the individual with Zone 2. But not at the time.
I believe Charles Lee has stepped away from his board position,
Yeah, he was,
but he does want to come.
yeah, he was, his 4 years started while he was still a board member. So, so that's why he's still on.
Okay.
It didn't have to be a budget or a board member to be on the budget. We need someone.
It's our precedent that it is a board member or a super. So I guess I could ask.
Or we got Hank Perry on there, the former board member.
Former board, yeah. If you'd like me to keep trying, I can, and you can.
I don't think that's necessarily good use of time.
Well, down at the bottom, zone 5 and 5, aren't those the two longest serving superintendents in the county?
Yeah,
They have been around forever, and any vote, when the year, long time ago.
At will now.
and he was a board member when he started. So yeah, we'll have some shifts next year.
They're both fun to have.
Well, at that point, if you've got people that have budgeting experience, you can be flexible. And we're focusing community.
Do we have any more questions about the budget committee membership? Hearing none, I'll ask for a voice vote on accepting. Motion it.
Yeah, I move we accept the budget committee members as drafted.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Further discussion? Hearing none, call for a voice vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passed by a majority. I didn't hear Gail. Are you here, Gail?
I don't know why you can't- I can
Okay.
talk.
That's okay. The joys of technology.
We got you that.
We got it. Passes unanimously. The good of the order.
I just wanted to say, I want to clarify something, guys. I not only fell off my scooter once, I actually fell off 3 times. And I hit my head 2 of the times and fell right on the concrete. And a little girl came up to me, first grader. It was at school, and she said, "Can I give you a hug?" It was so sweet. And, it was very sweet. But yeah, I have a tendency to bail off and hit my head on the scooter every time I'm at school. I did that at Green Elementary School. I did it at Eastwood Elementary School, and I'm gonna retire that knee scooter.
Yeah.
I apologize for not being there. I wish I could be, but I've had a real battle with pneumonia. I've had pneumonia twice, and I've had some of these injuries, and so I would like to be there, and I'm going to try to get there as soon as I can. But I'm going to be dealing with this for quite some time. And I do have a question, Annalicia. We have to do some work on being a good board member, I understand. When does that due? Where do we have to have that done by?
It's once a term.
Okay.
Once a term. Yeah, so just once in your 4 years.
Okay.
You need to participate in that. And it's available through OSBA via webinars.
Okay, yeah, webinar.
Literally do it online.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tom, thanks for coming in on Zoom.
Yeah.
Yep.
Appreciate
Glad to
it.
be here. I'm done with mine.
Any more good of the order?
Just 2 things real quick. So I've invited Gary and Barb to be a part of our negotiations team. I shared it the last time, public meeting laws around committees, adjusted a little bit. And so the way we've done in the past, we needed to shift. And so Harry and Barbie volunteered to be a part of that. I'm very grateful to them. The other thing is the South Central Early Learning Hub. The Governance Council approved their bylaws. I will be bringing them to you in April. They approved them just yesterday. So that was enough time for you all. Bringing them to you in April because the current bylaws say that the Douglas ESD board must approve any amendments. Those bylaws were written 10 years ago, and the state has given governance councils more independence. And so you're going to see that reflected in the bylaws. And I'll discuss at that point the changing role and how that looks. But so we've made it through that process before the April 1st deadline, and we'll just tell the state that you all will approve it, or you all papers on for school, but it's trying to do it in April, for your review and your decision. So. That's it.
I'm happy to announce that the grandson that lives with me is now working full time. 32 years old. It's great. 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night. So literally the time I'm awake is gone. Okay. Anybody else? Nope. Do I hear a motion to dismiss?
I'm looking
Sure.
at this.
Second. Hey.
Second and third.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Feel better, Tom. No more
Yeah,
scooters.
thank you. No, I'm done with those. I'm done with them. Sure. I've been locked up, by the way, I've been locked up in this rehab place for, it's been 3 weeks now, and I get a week and a half more. So I completely shattered my ankle, and the bone was just gone. It was just like, and they had to reconstruct that, and it was quite an ordeal for the surgeon.